A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Come on. What's going on, people? It's Host Beefy here with my boy Us. And then we also got
It's Javi. Hello, world.
dang dude. Hello to the world. He just got done getting LASIK, if you guys can see, so he's gotta wear kind of darkened shades.
I know my room is already dark, but
Yeah.
I just needed it to be a little more darker, a shade darker.
A little bit darker, dude. Black Lives Matter, dude.
Yeah, they do.
But we're here on a beautiful Tuesday, 666. It's actually 4621. And beautiful day. It's was a little bit rainy yesterday, a little bit today, chance of snow. Okay, you looked into the forecast. We saw a chance of snow when I literally, you know what? This is what's gonna happen. If I made a little bar over the weekend, well, I had already kind of started it last year. And this year I finished it, I put a roof, then I made it a little bit nicer. I made it more respectable, you know what I mean? I had kind of like a Haitian bar, now I got a Jamaica one, I got a little Jamaican tiki, Honolulu, Melikalikimaki. So, now with that being said, every time I work on, building anything else like outdoorsy, the weather goes to shit. Okay, so last year I had a gazebo, right? I made a beautiful gazebo. It had a beautiful interior. I pimped it out. What happened the next day, Javi?
I think it just poured for like.
It was the wind, the hurricane winds.
Hurricane season hit us.
The hurricane winds. It was category 4 here in Utah, and guess what happened to my gazebo? $250. RIP, broken. So then I had to salvage it out, and it made it the rest of the winter, but it was like duct tape, you know what I mean? I had like a clamp holding it together, and then it was the first day. It was cool. Javi came over, a lot of people came over. Oh, they want to check out what's going on with Jose's outdoor facilities, you know what I mean?
You had electricity running through it, right?
I had electricity running through it, dude. I had the fire pit. I had the gaming system set up. You know what I mean? Air conditioned. Then you got the grill right there. So beautiful. It gets destroyed. So then it gets like weird inviting people. Like, oh, let me check out your gazebo, Jose. Oh, it's full of duct tape. They're like, what is this, dude? They thought they were on Skid Row. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden the housing market kind of crashes, you know what I mean? So people right now, they want me to make another gazebo so they can afford moving into a house.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could have rented that out right now. There's not enough houses here in Utah.
Only like 1,200 houses for sale right now, dude. And but I built my little bar thing, and now tomorrow it's gonna snow. So, well, today it's gonna snow. Tomorrow it might snow as well, and we had a little bit of sprinkles yesterday, and I told Javi, I was like, come check it out. I put a TV in the new tiki bar, and now I don't know if it's going to survive. So now I got a TV. I had to put some trash bags all over the TV just to see if it makes it, just because I got a little bit of antsy. I got a little bit of spring in me, and I want to spring into action, which brings us into springing into our holidays that we're celebrating, me and Hos. And what holidays do we got, Javi, for me and Hos?
The first one and most important is SAAM, which is what is it?
It's like Sexual Abuse
Awareness Month.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's for anybody that's been sexually abused. I think, you know what? For me, that's like, there's like a lot of abuse. Obviously, all abuse is bad, but that's like one of the abuses that I think a lot of people keep away from other people the most. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to tell somebody that you got abused, like, sexually or anything like that. It's like, I think that's like, whether you're a man or woman or whatever, or kid, an adult, a senior citizen, like, you don't want to tell somebody that you got abused sexually. I think that's like one thing that's like, sex is already like very intimate. You know what I mean? So when you get abused, I've noticed like a lot of people that have been sexually like abused, and I know a couple people that it like kind of messes them up, like for the rest of their life almost. You know what I mean? They get a lot of like weird. It's almost like PTSD. You know what I mean? And there's different levels of it. One of the levels. You know what? Now that we're talking about sexual abuse, I was having this discussion with you, Javi, actually, a long time ago. And for me, at first, I don't even know if it's abuse now, or maybe I should see a therapist. You know what I mean? But when I was a young offspring, I used to only like older women. You know what I mean?
I do remember this. Yes.
So we had this conversation, and so it's like, yeah, you have intercourse with, you're like, your age, you're like freaking, 16, 17, 18, 19 when you're a kid. And then when I started being an adult, then I'm in a free market. I'm 18. All of a sudden, you got these women, because hey, it happens to guys too. But this is what I was telling Javi, because I was telling him, that this girl that I was with, she was probably like, I was 18, she was probably like 34. So I was like 19 or 34. What's the difference? Like 16 years or something like that, right?
A whole lot of years, yeah.
So to me, it's like, oh, she's hot, oh, she's like a hot girl or whatever. But so she would we would do all these crazy things. We're freaking, oh, Jose's over here doing the Spider-Man, you want to play on the merry-go-round? Sure. Now she's going around on something else. You know what I mean?
Mary, because Mary's
and it was Mary. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we're doing all these involvements in dark activities and dark arts. And I told Javi, it's like, for me, now that I think about it in retrospect, that was something for me that my expectations of sex were almost that. You know what I mean? All these things that, because it wasn't like I kind of like,
crept like
crept in,
Superman into the next level of
yeah, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, I'm a kid, I'm 18, and all of a sudden so all of a sudden I'm like in the NBA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You went from you're that Kobe in the sex game. I get it.
So then all of a sudden I'm like there, and I'm like, oh, holy crap. So that didn't register till like, I mean, we had this conversation I think last year, and I was like, oh well, even my own thoughts of like what's normal were like skewed, you know what I mean? So like to me it's like, oh, this is normal. So I'm not sure if sometimes for me it's like, oh, so am I having sex normal, you know what I mean? Or is this normal people sex? Or so now I don't even know, you know what I mean? What are you doing, Jose Beef? You know what I mean? I don't know, I just learned this is like what I learned, you know what I mean?
Oh, but then if you go into your next partner and they're not on your level, is that considered abuse too? You know what I mean? So like it's like a lot to think about.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to bring up like how because that for me, it's not something that I would say off the top, oh, that's like sexual abuse. You know what I mean? Because usually you always think
because it's like consensual,
right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like somebody that's more experienced than me. That's you know what I mean? That's using
not
their
necessarily
experience,
taking advantage,
right? But kinda,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So throw me a couple Hansel and Gretel, dude. Throw me a couple pigeon, a couple breadcrumbs, just so I can. Oh, you think you were gonna get roses? No, dude. It's
yeah,
throwing a little bit of darkness on the floor for me. So I think that's what's really hard about sexual abuse. Is like sometimes you don't even know that it might have even happened to you. You know what I mean? But there's something that's messed you up, and that's kind of what I was telling Javi. It's like sometimes that it's even hard for me in relationships just to think, well, am I normal, or you know what I mean? So now that's affected me like even longer than before.
Yeah.
Than maybe not being with older women when I was younger. So that's for me, it's like something that's with sexual abuse is just like some people don't know, that they've been abused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until you're like, oh, psychologically, you kind of like sit down and kind of think about it now that you're an adult, and you're like, oh wow, I can't believe this.
I was really doing
this happened. 18, you know what I mean? Or
yeah.
somebody like baited me into doing that. So yeah, I mean, it's not like, for me, it's not something that's like that I've been like angry about or something, but sometimes it does trip me out. You know what I mean? But I know I mean, with many other different types of abuse, there's like other people that suffer even more with just even trusting, being in a relationship, or, you know, trusting people or making friends and stuff like that. So one good thing about like I know we talk about sometimes about cancel culture and stuff like that and things like that, you know, people are complaining, but I think that's like one of the good things that have changed a lot more, you know what I mean? That it's more like, oh, you got to be more almost like knowledgeable of like, oh, what's consent, or
more aware,
you know what I mean? More aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before it's just like before, you know, at least for me growing up, it's like when you talk about sexual abuse or anything like that, it's just like your parents tell you, oh, don't go into the pedophile's van, you know? Oh, you know, this guy from the apartment, you know, 203, he's throwing the Roman candles. You know, his name's actually Roman, and it's not a candle. It's something else, okay? And different sparks are going to come out. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that fire. Another type of fire is going to come out. So, usually, like, that was a training for me for predators, you know? It's like, or somebody touches your private, they say that, your parents, you know, oh, don't tell them no. But they don't teach you more about, like, it's always like other people that are older doing it to you. You know what I mean? It's not like within like you doing it to each other, because there's a lot of cases too of like kids that have been abused that are abusing other kids because they're getting abused. You know what I mean? So they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they're like
continual cycle of abuse until someone sits back and like actually thinks about like, oh, hey, maybe this isn't right or something, you know?
Yeah, so even maybe teach your kids too about like not just older people being, you know, creepy, but also like younger kids. It's like, yo, you know,
or even themselves, like sit back and actually think about what you're doing, because you could be the abuser and you don't even know it, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's one good thing that we've hopefully the world's been progressive on, is the just being abuser. Because before, I mean, you know, before it's just like, oh, you see rap videos, you know what I mean? Oh, what's Nelly doing, dude? You know, she's swiping a credit card on that ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thinking back is like, oh, damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, well, for us, that's like, oh, dude, that's like all that we saw. You know, so it's just like,
for sure.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing that's weird. But, I guess not. How do I say shout out? But all you survivors, any of you out there, stay strong. And if you think maybe you've gotten abuse or anything like that, maybe just seek help or talk about it. I think a lot of people are pretty open.
Get a friend about, like, you feel confident with.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hey,
about
like,
saying, hey,
I went through this. Is this normal? Like, you know?
Yeah. Because that's how our conversation, you know, with me and Javi, I was just talking. It's like, hey, do you think this is normal, you know? Or I can't even remember, but it was just like pretty natural, you know what I mean? And then when we were having that conversation, I realized like, oh, it's maybe not that I like older women. It's just like based off those experiences I've had early with like that older woman. It's like,
they were the only
I
ones.
only want older women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not that I hated girls my age or anything like that, but maybe it's just like, I could never see that girls my age would be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So bring us to the next holiday. Let's see what we got. Other things that we're celebrating.
Next holiday is New Beer's Eve.
New Beer's Eve. So
I don't know if this is like the sparks new flavors of beer.
New beer. So maybe there's a couple of new beers that are gonna drop. Jose Cuervo 2, 3X, Tres X. Now there's 3 most interesting men on earth.
Not just the one.
And whatever happened to that guy?
He probably got canceled.
Now there has to be the most interesting woman on earth.
Yeah.
And they should do both of them, and they should both come back.
And they should be best friends and hang out.
The girl that I would nominate as most interesting woman on earth for beer would be what's the lady from Sora? What's that lady? Catherine Zeta-Jones? Is that her?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Don't you think she would be a good one?
She would kind of fit the description, I feel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the most interesting woman on earth.
Salma Hayek.
Okay.
You know, let's get a little spicy, a little feisty with it.
What other woman you think could be I know Carmen Sandiego. If she wasn't a fictional character, that would be my number one.
Well, yeah, because she's traveled the world.
She's literally the most interesting woman on earth. Yeah. Literally.
Because everyone wants to know where she's at. I get it.
You know, traveled the world. You know, nobody can find her.
We're in the world of Carmen Sandiego.
Yes, so Carmen Sandiego, they literally got every single student trying to find this woman. So people are talking about, oh, America's Most Wanted, Ted Bundy. Oh, only the cops are looking for. You know how many people are looking for Carmen fucking San Diego, dude? Huh? Dude,
everybody, every kids. Student
K
in the
through
90s.
12, you know, K through 12, and the adults. You gotta, you go to your parents. Oh, mom. Oh man, Carmen. You know, it's like, what do you mean, Carmen? What's that? Is that the lady from the panaderia, the bakery? No, this lady right here, we're trying to find her. Oh, Carmen San Diego. Dude, your parents would freak out. They're like, they still haven't found her? You know? There was 2 people that they told you to fear. Pedophiles and Carmen San Diego when you were growing up, okay? Whatever you do, don't get into Carmen San Diego's fucking suitcase. Or she had a long...
They'll never find you like they'll never find
raincoat?
her.
Oh, yeah, they would never find you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, nobody, like, now they have internet. Dude, they found Osama bin Laden, bro. And Carmen San Diego, she's still out there, dude. So, that for sure. You know what? Screw the most interesting man on earth, dude. Okay? Screw him. Because that's why they canceled him. Because they should just get Carmen San Diego and just give it to her. Because she's... There hasn't even been a man that's been... I mean, it's like the Loch Ness Monster, Carmen San Diego.
Yeah, the Loch Ness could be female.
UFOs.
Too, you know? They could all be female.
You know?
In vitro.
UFO, nobody even knows.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's been found. You know?
Dang.
So, yeah, speaking about beers. So, yeah, new beers, Eve. So maybe try a new beer. Now they got a lot of those seltzers. Have you tried any of the... beer seltzers, Javi?
I think I have, and I did not.
You don't like it?
Appreciate the flavor.
Oh, it's more like it almost tastes like a senior citizen, like an old person.
It really just tastes like Alka-Seltzer with like a hint of like lime or black cherry or whatever flavor they have out now.
Like you gotta find it.
The passion fruit one, was pretty good. Someone gifted me that one, and it was pretty good. I would try that one. The Corona, I think it's from Corona.
Now, what you got to do is like, that's like almost like a base. So you can add more flavors to that and throw a couple more different alcohols in there. You know what I mean? So you can use that and, throw a couple berries or something in it and mix it up.
I think I was just trying to follow the trend because everybody was drinking it straight. So I was like, oh, maybe would I be considered a pussy if I throw more fruits in here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like...
See, we got to change that because look at Javi. He was already having second thoughts like he can't drink a seltzer because he's afraid of getting judged. You know what I mean? And you know what they say? Claws, no laws for the claws, baby. So you should have done whatever you wanted, Javi.
That's true. I will do that next time.
Okay, next time. So I don't know, man, because I'm not really a big alcohol guy, but I tried a seltzer, and I don't know. I mean, I can understand it for like people that don't drink like me. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want like a beer. I like a light beer. I don't like anything too crazy with beer. And the thing that I'm gonna say about you, beer people or heavy alcohol consumers, the thing that drives me the most is like when you get a beer and they're like, "Oh, you drink that beer? You know that's for pussies." Or, "Oh, you're not a man." I was like, dude, I don't even like beer. Like, who wants to have a beer that tastes like sewage? You know what I mean? You want the darkest beer so you can be a really cool man. You know what I mean? I can't drink that, dude. That tastes like death. You know?
Oh, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
It's like dude,
alcohol in general, but beer.
Oh, I'm gonna get my Budweiser.
It's so bloated.
Yeah, you know why it has a picture of a horse? It's because it's for horses, dude. It's not even for humans. It's for a minotaur, dude.
Minotaur.
Yeah. So don't try any of those old beers. Budweiser, don't try any of that. So try the new ones. Try some seltzers. Some what other new beers they got in the beer market? Oh, they got the fake beers now. They got the
is it Heineken?
Heineken, dude. They got 0.0%. The Heineken. Yeah. They got that one. He's like, "You're driving?" And the guy's like,
"You're drinking and driving?"
"I got the keys," or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
"Give me the keys." And then he goes like this. He's like, "No alcohol." And then the guy's like, "Oh, it's like," and it's always like the son and the dad. Have you noticed in the commercial?
Yeah.
And like the dad's always kicking his ass. You know what I mean? And it's like he's driving faster than the son. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're 80. He's like, oh, he knows how to golf better than the son. It's like, yeah, because you're 80.
You have 40 years more experience.
Yeah, you can drink, harder liquor than the son and drive. You know, yeah, because you don't got anything to live for anymore. You already lived life, dude. So now he's gonna, the son. He's like, oh, I got a fake seltzer, because he's smart, dude. He's just like me, dude. He's not gonna drink that freaking devil's juice. So we got that for all you people getting drunk, and then we got another one, don't we?
The last one, which is ironic, alcohol screening day.
Oh, alcohol screening day. So there you go. If you just got done celebrating your seltzers, your claws, if you just got done with your Budweisers, your Heinekens, your Sam Adams, your Coronas, your Modelos, your
Michelob's.
Tecates, your Michelob Ultras, your Budweisers. I think I already said that. Your Bud Lights, your Miller Lights, your Core Lights, your Reese's Pieces,
Your electrolytes.
your Gatorades, your Powerades, all of those. If you already got done, guess what? You're getting tested, dude. And one thing I'm gonna tell you right now, I know a person that was drinking on the spot, okay? And that person was coming to work drunk. And now all of you guys that work from home, how many of you guys in the comments, how many of you guys drink at work? Don't you think there's been upflex of people that drink in while they're working out, if they work at the office?
I wouldn't know. Like, I'm sure there is.
You know, because now it's like we're working from the office where you're just off the honor system. You know what I mean? Oh, what's this guy doing? Dude, you're working in your underwear, you know? You're naked. This guy literally works on his bed, you know? Some people are drunk. Dude, you know, some people might be... I mean, what are those vapors? They're probably vaping at their house. Because those guys, dude, there was people that were vaping. They'd be vaping in the bathroom at work.
That's so...
You know what I mean?
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm doing it because my farts smell bad. You know what I mean? I was doing it as a courtesy. Who wants to vape in a bathroom? Okay?
That's why they smell so bad. Is because you're taking in the good flavors.
You're sucking in somebody's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's horrible, dude. Smoke a cigarette, dude. What's up? Now, one thing that maybe coronavirus got rid of is a lot of vaping. I haven't seen a lot of vapors. Maybe it's because I work from home, so I don't see a lot of people.
I don't really see.
So have you seen vaping, Javi? When you go
No.
driving? Because before, you remember when it started, you're driving, dude.
I haven't seen too many Subaru drivers. You know,
Oh, dude.
those are the
STIs, dude. They're like, oh,
vapors?
you think he's peeling out? No, dude,
that's
it's
just
just
his
his
vape.
freaking vape.
yeah.
Or you get to the workplace, dude, and like the whole thing, it's like, oh, it's a Silent Hill, the reunion. Oh no, dude, it's just the smoking lot.
Smoke
You know?
fish.
Yeah. It smells like freaking the dentist office. You know what I mean? They got all passion fruit, grapefruit.
I will say they do smell good, but
Yeah, they smell good, but that's like, it's almost like that gives them like almost like what's the word, dude?
entitlement.
Well, no, it's like almost like a reason to just like even blow out more smoke, you know? Like oh, but it smells good. It's not cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then dude, all the people started dying from it, remember? Like, oh,
All of a sudden, it's worse than cigarettes.
these people, yeah, because they had the other ones that they had the little ones that they had to take off the shelves. I can't remember what they were called. The jewel pots, those ones. The jewels, that's what they call them. Like, girls say they didn't want jewels anymore, you know? I gave this girl a jewel. I was like, here, beautiful. You know, she's like, what's that? I'm like, it's a jewel. And she's like, I didn't want that, you idiot.
Get that
That's
thing
what she
away
told
from
me.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want that, you idiot. I want to smoke. I want freaking, I was going to say caffeine. I want nicotine. That's what she told me, you know? She threw it, dude. 14 carats down the drain, dude. All because she wanted to smoke. So, yeah, all you guys are getting tested. Now we're talking about smoking. So, all you guys are getting tested. Irresponsible drunk driving. That's bad. Easter weekend. Hopefully, you guys didn't drink. Only drank the Lord's blood. Some people, that's wine. Other people, that's water. So, those are
Other
the only
people at
things that are
Starbucks?
allowed. People at Starbucks, they drink?
I think so. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, other people's the
A,
Lord.
a Starbucks water?
Yeah.
You know, you can drink some of that. They say that's some of the best water. Javi, he's really bougie. You know, he'll come in with he'll get a triple venti. I was like, what's that? He's like, a sexty. It's like, dude, I think that's like sending erotic messages to people. A sexty.
It says 666. You know?
He's like, it's a triple venti. That's what he says. Like, I don't even know what that means, you know? But Javi's, he's a big aqua guy, you know? The Mexican Aquaman. But yeah, don't drink and drive, and then if you get tested, you might get arrested. But the one thing that's not going to happen is you're not getting molested, because this is the month of SAAM. So you guys make sure you reach out to that community. Stay safe, stay protected. But that's it for the holidays. Jose, he is not here because, as you can see behind me, he was turned into a doll. He started dating this girl, and he's like, "Hey,
I think she was Haitian.
Her name was Tiffany." So I was like, "Tiffany? Oh, that's a very common name. We're in Utah, you know, Tiffany. It's very common for him to date a woman that name's Tiffany." It's like, "Oh, she's very sweet. She's into Ouija boards. She's into pentagrams. She's into, you know, monoliths, and she's into, you know,
Stones.
chupacabras, bro."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, maybe she's a little goth. You know, I don't judge. Maybe she's a little bit emo. You know, I can get a little bit emo." And next thing I know, dude, I go to his house and look at my friend. There he is. He was just frozen. So it turns out the Tiffany he was talking about is the Tiffany from The Bride of Chucky. So he was dating the Bride of Chucky, and she used Hoss to fucking Mr. Potato Head, put him in that body. And now, meanwhile, fucking Chucky's out there in a Jose's body right now. In a Puerto Rican body, dude. Huh? That's where he is, dude. Imagine his parents, dude. He's like, "Yeah, fuck you." You know? He's always angry, dude. And he was like a serial killer too, Chucky. And, dude, somebody had a picture of Chucky, like they had found one at a Ross or something like that, a big one. I was so jealous, dude. But yeah, that's what happened to Hoss. He turned into a doll. And hopefully, you know, we're going to take him to church. Javi, we have our reciting Jesus stunt double. And he's going to take him to the... what is it? Where you take him, Javi? To
the cathedral?
Where you do that with those weird rituals where they were taking demons out of people?
Oh, I think they're called Misa de Sanación.
Sanación, that sanitation.
The sanitation station.
Yeah.
Bunch of holy water and rosaries.
That's it? Did you take your rosary? Did you have to take one or not?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So tell me, because some people don't believe out, you know, in the darkness. Some people like me, they kind of want to lurk into the murky waters. They want to see the Loch Ness monster. So was it a little bit creepy?
No, I mean, you hear people like all the other people possessed. It is a little creepy, but you just got to keep your eyes closed, hands up, praying to the Lord. And then by the time it gets to you, you either start screaming like a demon or you pass out.
Like somebody said, like,
the priest, he comes to you and like they pray over you. And then you either, they call it, if you don't have a demon, they just rest your soul. And you just pass out 5 minutes on the ground.
Did you pass out a little bit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't remember anything. Bro. I think Cynthia did too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then when you woke up, was it weird or?
Man,
like,
I felt good.
What was the conversation when you got home? Like, that would be a weird ride home.
Silent. Dude.
Yeah?
It was so awkward.
Like, what the fuck did just happened?
I don't know what just happened, but.
So it was just like silence, and then it was just like, you guys didn't even talk about it the
next
day or anything like that?
Not even like an awkward silence. It was just like peace, you know?
It was just like calm. Say much.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I bet you it's almost like if you went to war and survived. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
And then you just came back with your buddies, and you're like,
we don't just say anything. Yeah, you don't say anything. You're just writing back, and
yeah, we're just like, oh, we're going home, baby. You know?
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Like, hey, I survived this dark stuff and
sanitation.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, and there's
something to think about.
You know, a lot of religious people. There's actually a lot of religious people over here where I live. Got a couple of polygamous neighbors. They hold down a lot of the street. They got a couple, you know, got a property over here. They got a property over there that's like super big. They got swing sets. They got PlayStation 6, PlayStation 8, dude. They got a VCR. They got a cassette player, dude. They have basketball hoops. They also got a playground. They got jungle gyms. They got the monkey bars. Dude, I saw a couple people, dude. I thought they were cockfighting, dude. Just a couple of kids chicken fighting, huh? Remember that? Chicken fights? When you would get on the monkey bars, Javi? And then you have to try to knock the other people down?
No, I don't remember that at all.
No?
No.
Like, you have to try to see how strong you are.
Oh, that's probably because I never
Or
had
somebody
any.
could put you on their shoulders.
I never had any upper body strength, but that's in the pool, right? Is that what it is?
You can do that in the
In
pool,
the
too,
pool?
but you
Yeah.
can do it in real life,
We
too.
did the pool
in public.
once.
When you put somebody on your shoulder, like, oh.
They're crushing your esophagus to stay alive, and you're the one
Yeah.
dying under the
Under
water.
the water?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
I
dude.
played that one.
Yeah, but those like the original cockfights were actually the chicken fights.
Ah.
But I was out there, dude, and my dog, you can hear him rattle. He, we were out there getting the recycling. Taken care of, and another lady, another one of the polygamists. Oh, he's gonna try to say hi, but another one of the polygamists is going to. Well, I don't know what we're doing now. Look, trying to tell a story, and okay, so I got the polygamist, right? They're out there. They've been trying to learn how to roller skate, and if you know anything about the polygamists, they're kind of like the Amish. They're still like 40 years behind in technology. So they've been out there rollerblading, and two of them, and they always have like matching outfits. One comes out like the pink Power Ranger all the time, and the other one out in her dress, the polygamous dress. Okay, so she's out in her polygamous dress, and I got my dog, and they're coming out. They also had a dog, so they're walking a dog on rollerblades, and they can barely rollerblade. So they're like, they're like going like this, trying to keep their balance. And they see my dog. Their other dog tugs the lady towards my dog Sunny, and then she just like ate the biggest freaking, just a lot of shit, just scorpion, dude. And I was so scared because
It wasn't even Scorpio season.
not even Scorpio season, and you only see that like on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when you see it in real life, I'm like, dude, does this lady just break her neck, her arms, her legs? Like, what just happened? You know what I mean? And all she did, I told Javi, it's like all she did was,
Like the wind just got knocked.
that's all I heard. And I walked towards her because I felt so bad. I put my dog away, and I walked towards her, and all I heard again was, and I said, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." And then her sister. Now this one was like this was a shyer woman, And I said, "Hey, I'm so sorry." I was like, we were just taking out the recycling. I was like, and then her dog pulled, it was like her dog that pulled towards my dog, trying to, he was trying to make him flinch. My dog just being a beauty. So I didn't want to be like a jerk and be like, hey, well, it's your fault. You don't know how to rollerblade, and you're trying to walk your dog, and your dog try to, come at my dog. I was like, you should have just let him off his leash. That's what I said mentally. That's what I said. But her sister comes up behind me, and she's like, what are you doing? Don't ever do that again. Are you not supervising your dog? I was like, no. I told her, it's like we were just right here. Her dog pulled her towards me. She's like, just make sure it never ever happens again. And then one of my other neighbors, was like, don't listen to her, So they were starting the fight, dude. And I just got off work. So I wasn't trying to fight, So I just came, to the backyard and just played in the backyard. But yeah, that's been kind of my beef with our religion lately. So,
Rollerblades.
rollerblading, she was trying to rollerblade into sanitizing herself, and
Rollerblading and dog taming. I see.
on the asphalt,
Yeah.
she got that sanitation. So it was a sad day, but they are maybe in their 20s, and they're barely learning to, maybe they're in their 30s. One of them looks pretty old, and they're barely learning how to rollerblade because they don't know how to use bikes. Now, if you guys remember when you were kids, what was the first method of transportation that you used, Javi? What was your first method of transportation? Was it a scooter? Was it a skateboard? Was it a bicycle? Was it rollerblades, roller skates? What was your first
Mine was a bike.
a bike?
Yeah.
Now, what was your first bike like? Did it have the 3 wheels at first, or did you have to learn 2 wheels only?
2 wheels only. I think the wheels were flat or like low air pressure, whatever.
Lower.
But I remember it was red. It was like a Schwinn, like one of those old school. It was probably like a classic, and I never knew. Right? I was 7, maybe if that.
You had the nicest bike in the
I probably
neighborhood.
did have the nicest bike ever, and I don't remember whatever happened to that.
You never remember falling or anything like that at first?
Uh, Maybe like a couple times, but nothing too crazy.
Or you never had accidents on your bike?
We did when we were like in 6th grade, but that was when we were more advanced and we had the BMX bikes and we would
BMX
jump,
was trying to pop off?
not pop off, but like that's all we did, right? We didn't have no internet back then, so we would go off these hills where the houses where we live at are built now. And then this kid, like, I go off on a jump. These bikes have no brakes, so there's no way to stop because I'm like in the middle of it's just dirt. This kid and I just crash wheel to wheel, and that was it. Goodbye bikes. That's the last time I rode a bike.
Really?
No, not really. I'm sure I've ridden one after, but
You know what bikes I hate, dude? If you remember these ones, the bikes where you're biking and they don't have brakes like the one you said, but you have to like twist the pedals
back
backwards.
pedal. Yeah.
Is that the bike you had?
No, I think my like those ones didn't have brakes at all.
Oh,
Like,
yours didn't have brakes
yeah,
at
like
all?
you could twist the steering wheel like 360, and because the ones with brakes you couldn't, right? Because they had the wires or whatever. Yeah, like this one I could just.
Oh, damn, bro. Because I hated the ones that had the back brake where you had to go back. Because there's always like, it's so fun when you're on a bike and then you're cruising and then you can go backwards, you can just hear the chain go.
Yeah.
You're just like hearing the chain. Because I used to love my first method of transportation, I think was probably a skateboard. And
Was it a longboard?
no. It was when I
No?
was a kid. So it was a little tiny one. And but it didn't look like a regular skateboard now. It was more like an old school one. It was like square and then kind of like pointy at the top, but it was kind of like it almost looked like an iron,
Oh,
like the
okay,
bottom
yeah.
of an iron.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like, dude.
That's funny.
So it wasn't, it wasn't this. It wasn't longboard
It's
either.
just like a
Yeah,
weird.
it was like this,
house
like an
shape.
iron almost like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Illuminati, dude. I mean that Ouija freaking skateboard, but so I was on that one, dude, and I sucked. Like, it was like so short, I couldn't really put my foot on it. Like I could put one, but I couldn't put two. And what I would do is like I would do like the one where you put like your knee on the skateboard and then you get your foot and then you just like pedal with your foot while your knee's on it and then just kind of like do it sitting down.
Mhm.
So I would do that and I would try to go super fast, dude. Because imagine doing that now as an adult. Like, dude, your leg's too tall first of all. You know what I mean? But as a kid, dude, your leg's like so short and you can be solo to the ground that
Your
you
center
can like
of gravity is like super good.
yeah, and you can push off the actual concrete. You know what I mean? You can just like go like that. But I was going way too fast, and then I don't know if I hit a rock or something, but I like scraped my elbow, and it was just like bleeding so much. I did end up getting a scar, but after that I was like, dude, I'm not gonna use a skateboard. So after that, I got into bicycles. But my first bike, well, I had a bike in Mexico, but the rumor is that my sister learned how to ride a bike before me. And so I blocked that completely off my memory because my sister rode a bike before Jose Beefy, IQ of 138, and I was there with my training wheels while a girl's just like, you know what I mean? Going around me in circles.
Rumor has it.
But that's the rumor out there. That's the Mexican myths. And then, so I don't believe anything from Mexico. You know what I mean? But that's the rumor that I sucked at riding bikes. I do blame it. Obviously, Javi was talking about center of gravity. I have a really big head. So, do you think it was easy for me before my shoulders broadened up? I got those pectorials. Okay, I used to watch tutorials for pectorials. Okay, when I had that big old head, and I'm riding a bike, dude, I'm going like this. That's why I was always falling. You know what I mean? It took me a long time to walk, but I got my first bike, and it used to have a speedometer. So my bike used to have a speedometer, dude, and I think the fastest I could go was like 20. But dude, I would try so hard. Like when I was a kid, dude, like my veins were popping out. I just like, and it had like the gears. It had them like right here on top.
Uh-huh.
So it looked like almost like a car. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, dude, and it had the gears. And one day, dude, I'm driving. I'm not sure if I've told the story on this podcast, but I'm going like 20 miles an hour, and we're in the apartment. So I'm going in front of the street of the apartments, and I'm like almost maxed out, and a car just opens her door, and like a little girl like jumped out of the car, ran her over, dude, and then I ran
R.I.P.
R.I.P. dude. So she was bossing too, and I ran over. Maybe Dave, you're out there and you're bossing. You might be my freaking only true love. So if you ever hear this, this is probably why we're meant. So I run her over, and her mom comes out. She's like, nevem ti mate, ne, shuti, bushimakudas. Cussing me out, She hit me with the bushimakudas, man. I was like, what? I can't even bushimakudas. You're a freaking woman, She's like, shuti. I was like, oh, man. But then I was like so scared. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. This one I had developed a little bit more English. It's like, I'm sorry. I was like, I mean, God, you could see me, but also she couldn't see me because it's just another kid that's just like walking out of the car, So this lady, dude, is like, I go in there. This is probably like 2:00, right? And 7:00 comes. All of a sudden, dude, this massive brick just comes through the freaking window. The back window of the house, dude, is that bossy and mom, dude. She got so mad that I ran her freaking daughter over. She freaking broke the window, dude. So she threw a brick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I looked at the brick. Bushimakudas. Is that Nevemti Mate? Bushimakudas. She put it on there. She said, "Fuck you, suck my dick." That's what she said on the brick, dude. So I ran her over. And then, I was like, oh, okay, well, I survived. I kept getting cocky on that bike. And one thing that the kids that were older than me used to do, the 6th graders. I was maybe like in 3rd grade, but the 6th graders, they could go up these like, we had that dual parking where there's like a parking lot that goes, in the bottom garage. And then there's like a giant ramp that takes it to the top. And the kids that were like 6th graders, they could make their bike go all the way up that giant ramp. And it was like a 20-foot ramp, because it has to go uphill to the parking garage, dude. And like all the little kids, dude, were like, 1st through 3rd grade, dude, we're like just trying to make it, dude. We make it halfway, you know what I mean? And then we start going down, they gotta go back. So we eventually like started figuring out, it's like we would have to start from the entrance of the apartments and start going as fast as we can, and then turn sharp to the left towards the ramp, and that would be like the only way that we could make it, right? So one day I go and, dude, I get freaking 100. I check my little meter speedometer, Dude, I'm going freaking like 180, dude. Okay? Going super fast. Make it all the way to the top, And all the old kids, they're up there. They're, oh, yeah, Jose, let's go, baby. High-fiving. They're going, oh, everybody's pumped up. The thing that I did not know or even take into consideration, my whole childhood, I'm trying to make it up this giant ramp. Now that I'm up there, you got to ride the bike down, because the old kids, they rode the bike down too, so they're going, and so it's like the ramp goes super fast, right? Like not even, there's maybe like 12 feet, and you run out of room. Like, you have to make a right out of there, like, quick. Because it's, like, the entrance of the apartment's, like, really narrow. The ramp's right there. So, if you're going down, you have to, like, be really good to turn right or left to not crash into, like, a giant fence or trees. So, well, now that I made it to the top, I got celebrated, and I got, my roses up there. Now I got to go to the bottom, dude. So I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't even think of this. No helmets, dude. We didn't care about CTE back then. What was that, dude? You know what I mean? Nobody knew. So I start going downhill, dude. And literally this ramp, like, I check my speedometer, dude. I was going 180. I'm going like 560, And I start going down, turn right. I make it. But I start, my handles start shaking.
You get the wobble of death.
I get the wobble because I got scared. And then I turn left again. I hit the curb and go flying, hit my head right onto a tree. Okay? And I was like, I started seeing like a little bit of stars, it's like knocked out a little bit. And I just like I couldn't even tell my mom, you know? I just went back home. It's like, well, I don't think I could tell anybody. I felt sick for like 3 days. I probably had a concussion.
You probably
I
did.
felt like I needed to puke. I was just like sleepy. Like I was just sleeping for 3 days after that, you know? It's like, dude, what happened to Jose? You know? It's like he was in a biking accident. But yeah, shout out to the Polygamous for reminding me of those traumas. But how are we on time?
We're good.
We're still good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that was one of my first method of transportation. And then we had the racer scooters. That was like maybe I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. I don't know. But those were coming out, the scooters. And I've said it here before. I stole my first scooter, okay? Because we lived in apartments. And if you lived in apartments, you just hung out with other kids that stole. You didn't even know they were stealing. They're like, oh, let's just go to another apartment. It was almost like you were borrowing it, you know? Because you can just walk to another apartment. Oh, there's a scooter. I'm going to take it. And it's not like I was going to leave the apartments. The same scooter the other kid was using was the same scooter I was using now. You know what I mean? Just in another section of the apartments.
Yeah.
So that's all it was. So we had scooters there for a while, but scooters, I don't know. I was never too good on scooters either, you know? It's like, oh, you could do the bunny hops. Could you ever do any tricks on your scooter, Javi?
Other than bunny hops, no.
No? But do you remember, were you excited when you got your first scooter?
Dude, I don't think we ever bought one.
You didn't think you stole it too? You think so?
I
Or
think
you
so.
found it?
We found it. It was used. It didn't have the handle. It was straight metal. Remember those rubber
Oh,
handle
yeah.
covers?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's already rusted. So
You had to get a shot. You had to get a
you had to
tetanus
get a
shot.
shot after you used it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't remember ever actually buying one. So I was never big into scooters.
So what was your favorite method of transportation then when you were
I
a
think the
kid?
bikes were just fun.
Bikes were?
Yeah, because they were like the fastest. You can go to, I remember being like 12, 13, we would go to Little Caesars, get a $5 pizza between everybody because that's all we had. Go back to the park and play sports or whatever. But
Oh, that is true, huh?
Yeah.
You're like in junior high and stuff. Oh, dude, let's go to Little Caesars. One thing that I, miss sometimes about like bikes or scooters or primitive forms of transportation, like when you're a kid, is how far you think you're going. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Because
like
literally, we traveled only like a mile, but like at that time frame, like your eyes aren't open to the world as much now where we're driving, or flying over,
yeah.
the country or whatever. It's like that your perception of like distance, it's like, it's like you can literally go from, I remember just going from our house to school. It seemed like forever. It seemed like in just that little walk, like anything could happen. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so you're gonna get abducted by aliens. You are gonna moon someone. We're gonna throw hamburgers at somebody else. We're gonna catch another car on fire. We're gonna torture the school bus driver. Something's gonna
We're
happen.
gonna ask him if he's ever played in Spider-Man because he looked like Dr.
Dr. Ock, dude.
Octavius.
That guy's the first guy that kicked me out of a school bus. But it seemed like so many things could happen in like 3 miles. You know what I mean? It seemed like forever.
Yeah,
And like now, dude, it's like 3 miles. It like feels like it's like a minute.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I listened to 2 songs.
do you think about that with like now as you're getting older, that's how time flies. Like time's flying for me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're already like I don't know, just like the months go by fast, days sometimes, but like we're already in April and I feel like the year just barely started.
Yeah. And then before it's just like it seems like, oh, you're
The
gonna
days
have
were super long.
you're gonna have a summer break when you're a kid. Dude, that seemed like you almost got a year.
Yeah, it seemed like forever.
'Cause
But I
you
think
would-
it's true. Like it does depend a lot on your perception and maybe since we're like halfway dead, like we feel like we're running out of time, and back then it's like you have this infinite.
Yeah, you
You
didn't even
feel
think
like
about it.
you don't really necessarily think about time or
Yeah, 'cause
space.
I
Or the
remember just like
Theory of
I said,
relativity.
just walking somewhere. It seemed like, oh, dude, it took me forever. You know what I mean? And it's like I went so far, dude. You went down the street, Jose.
Yeah,
You know what I
literally.
mean? It's like that's all you did. It's like you walked like 4 minutes, but those 4 minutes felt like a
An
long
eternity.
time. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that trips me out sometimes. Just how things kind of like were so, I don't know, like they lasted so long when you were a kid, and then now that you're an adult, they're like, dude, it's like I mean, even the bus driver, for us, we're probably like, oh, we're torturing him. For him, if we just like, I literally have to pick up 30 more schools after you,
Stop
like,
being annoying. Yeah.
you know what I mean? He like didn't even probably even think of us. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, dude, these guys are just
Yeah.
not even worth my time. You know what I mean? It's just like, I would want to see like what the
Like
like,
two sides were.
yeah, you know what I mean? If we could plug into like the bus driver's mind
Yeah. That
and
would
then
be pretty
plug
cool.
into the kid's mind, they're just like being reckless or like, oh man, it's like we're still, 2 stops away or whatever. And then the bus driver is just like, oh dude, I'm only 2 minutes away from,
From being done for the day.
delivering this load, dude. But God, I had another point. What was I gonna say? Did I freaking what were we talking about? Time. We were talking about time, most of transportation, going to school. Geez, I feel like I was gonna talk had a good point about time traveling, but now I can't even
Time
I can't
traveling.
even
We can time
remember.
travel to the question of the day. The unsolved mystery of the day. You ready for it?
All right, let's go.
Let's see. If you would choose 5 rules to live by for the rest of your life, what would they be?
5 rules. Okay, well, keep that up and let me think. So the first one I would probably say is don't overthink stuff. So that would probably be one. Number two, number two, I was gonna say don't care what other people have to say, but that's also almost like don't overthink
Don't
stuff.
overthink. Yeah.
So that's like don't overthink. I would probably say be grateful, thankful, grateful. So that would be probably number two. Be caring. So that's what, three. Probably be honest. And then so let's see, be honest. So what have I said so far? So be grateful.
Don't overthink.
Don't overthink.
Be honest.
Be honest.
What was the fourth one?
I don't know. I feel like I said something cool.
I don't remember now.
So I said be honest. Don't overthink. What other one would I? Well, I said be caring. That's the other
be
one.
caring.
Be caring.
Caring, not Karen. Be caring.
Yeah, don't be a Karen. So be caring, and then, I would probably say try as many things as you want.
For new experiences.
Well, or maybe try all the things that you want to do. You know what I mean? And not like drugs, or I'm not talking about stuff like that. Just like if something comes to your mind, just to try it. You know what I mean? So number one that I said was don't overthink stuff. So for me, that's like a lot of time we can get in our own ways, overthinking stuff. You know what I mean? You think, oh, this scenario is gonna go bad. I'm not gonna try this because I don't have the means. I don't have the money. I can't do this. But how they say if there's like a mean, there's a way or something like that. You know what I mean? So as long as you want to make something happen, you'll make it happen, even if it's in a ghetto way or whatever. Because if you're overthinking, you're
never gonna do it.
we're talking about time perception. That's like one thing. Overthinking, it's like you think that you're not wasting any time, but you've overthinked, and it's now like, you know what I mean, the whole day or a whole year, or you know what I mean. So that's like one thing. That's like overthinking seems like it's not taking up a lot of time, but it's literally
actually like a biggest waste.
The big one.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, we're all guilty of overthinking, and even it could be something so simple as Netflix. What do you want to watch?
Or what do you want to eat?
Yep. What do you want to eat? And it's, it doesn't seem like it's taken a. So that's maybe one where time warps, where it slows down, and now it's like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. Now I'm not even hungry because I'm mad.
Yeah, because I can't
I
decide.
argued about, oh, you want this, or no, I'm gonna get what you want, or what do you want to watch? And now I just scrolled through the menu. Now I got a lazy eye. Now I can't even look at the TV. I got to go to bed.
Now I need another prescription of glasses because I've stared at the screen so long.
Yep. So don't overthink. Then I said number two was I can't remember, caring. So caring, that one's I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It's like, just be caring towards others, and that does make you feel better about yourself. And I know we've said it on here first, like, don't just do that to feel better about yourself and not address what's wrong with you. But sometimes caring or helping other people, like, gets you in the mood to do better for yourself and to continue to, you know, I guess, be better in general. I said, be thankful. And I think being thankful, that's probably honest, being thankful or grateful. I think that might be like the top one, honestly, because there's once it clicks in that you can just be grateful for whatever you have and what you currently have. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have, like, more ambitions or goals or anything like that, but once you're just like content with, just having what you have, whether it's like just your family or your work, or you know what I mean, or
Yeah, like you can be ambitious and want
yeah.
something, but not necessarily be like, oh, like be mad at yourself for not having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because sometimes you can
Appreciate
you
what
can
you
also
have, essentially.
chase all of that stuff too much, and you don't like
And
soak in
that,
the moment. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
and that definitely takes away from your happiness.
Yeah, because there's like so many people too that people are like, oh well, he's always working or he's always doing this. Oh, but he's got everything, but he's not enjoying any of that. You know what I mean? So that's like, I think that's like a big one. Once you can find a reason to be constantly thankful and just enjoy life with whatever you have, and just like the simple things in life that you can enjoy, like the core things, the things that, if the world went to shit, the things that you could have. um like, I can't remember, I think I heard it somewhere. It's like, if the world was ending, what what five things would you be thankful or grateful for? And then if whatever you write down, uh whatever you write down is like the things that are most important to you in your life, if you do that. So I did that. I said, caring, thankful. um I mean, I can't remember the other ones, but if you guys remember, I mean, I think those are my top ones: be caring, be helpful, thankful, grateful, don't overthink stuff. And I mean, I think that's it. What about you, Javi?
My 5 rules to life, or um, I feel like you should be the person that you needed growing up, or try to be that person
Oh, that's a good one.
for somebody else. You know what I mean? I think that would help you a lot. I feel like that's one of my rules. Like, hey, I'm gonna be what this person, like what I needed growing up to whoever, a friend or whatever, they, per conversations and stuff. Um,
Cause sorry to interrupt you, cause that's one for me that's like, a lot of people try to hide behind something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, just because I didn't need this, just because I
I
wasn't given this when I was growing up, like,
I'm not gonna
this
give
is
it
the
to
reason
nobody
that
else.
I'm an asshole. This is the reason that I'm a jerk. This is the reason that I can't do all of this. It's because, this is the reason that I'm yelling at you or freaking being a bully. Is because I didn't have it growing up. So that means I'm not gonna change, and I'm gonna,
Continue the cycle of
yeah,
toxicity,
toxicity, tosculinity.
masculinity, almost masculinity. But
Well, yeah, that's a good
um,
one, dude.
dude, I think the other ones is like, do your bed before you leave them in the morning. I think I would do that. Like, I try to do that as much as possible. It's hard when you have somebody else sleeping in the bed.
Yeah. You
Like,
can't do it,
yeah, you can't. But I think that helps me at least feel like a little more accomplished. For the day, like, oh, I did this. What's next? Just it almost starts off your checklist of the day, and almost like make it become a ritual. And that way, like, you kind of have consistency in your daily life. Sometimes you get thrown curveballs and stuff, but I think that'll be my number 2. Dang, bro, number 3. Um, I mean, I like, just be grateful for what you have, right? Like, if you have a roof over your head, family that listens to you, like, I know a lot of people don't have that. Um, what else? Um, Yeah, just be grateful, you know? Like I think that goes a long way, and then it makes you act less of an asshole towards people, or even like less jealous, or I don't know where like what I'm trying to get at, but um was that 3?
Yep.
I think that's 3. Dude, my 5 rules. I might have to like look up my goals for life, but um I think being honest is like a huge one.
Oh, that's a good one too. Being honest.
I think like just try to be as honest as possible. I know like sometimes you have to do those little white lies
Little white lies.
that like just to not have to deal with certain things, but just being as honest and open as
Yeah,
you
it saves a
can.
lot of time when you're being
Yeah.
honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like actually tell like don't make people guess how you're feeling or trying to guess your thoughts or emotions. Like try to be, and I know sometimes it's hard to like get your ideas out and stuff. But just work with what you got, write things down. I think that's my 5th one for me. Is like writing things down, like ideas, or keeping a journal mentally just kind of helps. Or if you want to like de-stress, or you have like you've had a super frustrating day, man, just like write down that and then see how serious it is, engage that, you know. So I think that would be my top 5, like in the spur of the moment,
Yeah.
because I have better ones, but I think those are.
No, I mean, you know what? It's pretty hard to beat like being grateful. I think that's like if you can just master being grateful, you know what I mean? It's almost like if you master being grateful, it's basically like
Life
you're
becomes so much
yeah, it's
easier.
basically like you're mastering everything else that whether it's being honest, caring, you know, it's almost like being grateful almost like covers I mean
All
basically almost
bases.
all of them
Yeah.
a song, but at times that can be like the hardest thing to like overcome, you know what I mean? Or to be like, "Oh, well, I don't have this," or you know, because there is a lot of people that say, or you know, when we go to places that don't have much, like, dude, the people are so happy. You know what I mean? They don't have like as much stress and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I feel like it's that story of like that businessman that goes on vacation and sees the fisherman, and he's like, "Oh, you can start a." Like, he's telling him like, "You should start a business, and then that way you can like get everything you want in life, like cars, houses, and basically like whatever, you know." And then he's like, "And then what do I do after that?" He's like, "Then you can have free time and do what you want." And
it's
then
like, I'm
he's
already
like, "I'm
doing that.
already doing that," you know.
Yeah,
So like, who's the smart one?
yeah,
You know what I mean? That was just a quick recap, but I like that story a lot.
yeah. That's like the main one because you know, growing up, just like what when you see somebody that's like grateful or that they're just like so happy. You know what I mean? They're just like they don't even have to have like the most of you know everything or the nicest things or they're just like happy, dude. It's
Or
just
even
like
anything, you know what I mean?
yeah, and then they're just like it's just like a different vibe with that person. You know what I mean? You're just like, damn, dude. It's like I wish I was there like mentally or spiritually or whatever you wanna call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like I mean, Grandpa. I think he's pretty good at that. You know what I mean? We're just like you know what I
He's
mean? He
never
can
really
just
had
be
much, but he's been.
yeah, but he's just like you get his vibe and it's like, dude, it's just like you know they talk about like, oh dude, you get this weird vibe from and this is like, oh, you know, don't say that or like, oh, you get this vibe from like a god or something like that, you know what I mean? Like that's the vibe I get from like him, you know what I mean? Or when it's just like that it's just I don't know, it's just like so at peace, you know what I mean? That you're like, damn, it's like nothing's does that
Nothing
make
real.
sense?
That he never
It's
trips
almost
about anything.
yeah, and
Nothing's
it's
too
just like so at
serious.
peace or just like
Well,
if
yeah,
you
I feel like we've talked about
if you
that
want to
before.
talk about him about something, you know, he can give you like advice, and you're just like, holy crap.
And it's literally about anything. Like even
Yeah,
because
and
he's
like
like he's
calm.
old school, but he's also like open minded. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he's traditional, but he's like, oh, like any kind of question, whether it's like I don't know, like personal, like sexual, dude, like anything, he'll answer
yeah.
whatever you want. So
So yeah, but I think he's just like so grateful with life. You know what I mean? That he just like loves life that much that everything else doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? So that's like sometimes when you were talking about like being grateful, sometimes I was talking to some of my cousins in Mexico and you know they sometimes tell me like, oh, you know, it must be so cool to be in the U.S. and blah 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 and all these things. Like, mean, it is, but there's like so many things that I don't get to do that you guys do. It's like you get to see like over there's like you get to see everybody hangs out together. Your families or whatever. It's like you literally just like grow up together the whole time you're around each other. You can have like big family dinners all the time. Like nobody. I mean, and it happens too where they get caught up in their own lives, but it's still more
But it's
like.
not as often as it is here.
And it's not more as drastic either, because over here it's just like literally it's like
You start working and it's like you never see each other.
yeah. So
Anymore.
it's like you just have to keep everything, keep your own ship afloat. You know what I mean? Like all the time. And over there is just like the mothership. So that's like the mothership, and that's like
grandma's house
almost,
is the
always
mothership, and
afloat.
everybody
Yeah.
everybody's gonna eat. You don't have to worry about like when your next meal is or whatever. I mean, not that we do, right?
Yeah.
But like it's just like more communal.
Yeah. So it's just like so that just that alone, it's like yeah, it's like you get the or I mean, dude, we start working over here too. I mean, you can work when you're like 15 or whatever, you know what I mean? Or uh I mean, I started working when I was like 12, you know what I mean? So it's like, dude, none of my family members in Mexico even work when they were that young. You know what I mean? They're just like chilling. They're spending all this time, with their parents and stuff like that. So, there's like a lot of things to be grateful for the that you don't have to be in better means. We get like I don't know, we worship humans are so weird, dude, because we worship like so many like objects and shiny things, and it's just like sometimes I trip out because I'll look like the other day I was driving and it's like 11 o'clock or whatever, so it was all already daylight, but I could see the moon. When it's like those days where it's like there's like sun outside and you can still see the moon.
The moon is still almost like picture perfect clear.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, isn't that a trip that there's literally like basically another planet right there, and like we don't even think about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like we don't even.
It's like taken for granted almost.
Yeah, it's almost like they talk about now technology so evolved. They're like, oh, are we in a simulation or whatever? But it's like we're not. We're basically could not be in a simulation, but we created a simulation, and with all this technology and like this fast pace of living, that now we ignore everything that's going on in the universe, or just like with nature, that we feel like we're in a simulation because we became slaves to like what we made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything else is just like, I mean, dude, I look at the moon, I'm like, damn, bro, it's like I can't believe like I don't even look at the moon that much, and I'll look at it at night, you know what I mean? But when you see it during the day, and it's just like, it's almost like, dude, it's like how sometimes I think it's like how insignificant we really are as people. You know what I mean? We're like
it makes you think about like all the petty shit we're fighting about and
yeah,
stuff.
we're like so
We're so
grandiose,
civilized.
dude. We think we're so like the only thing that matters. So we think that we're like each individual. We all think like we're the shit. Every single person.
And I think yeah, man.
And we literally we don't matter. Like that's what's so crazy is that we get so caught up in not being able to see the world anymore, like the earth being earth, that we get like reminded of like when the earthquake happened, that was like, oh crap, it's like hasn't really been an earthquake.
I guess that's another
Utah.
rule too, right? Like don't make everything about you, even if it's just that, like living life every day. Like damn, like why the fuck am I always thinking about me and never any other person or anything really? Like you said, like it'll just be like little reminders like that. And
Yeah, like you're not gonna be there. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just like
3 generations from now, no one's gonna remember you.
yeah, like you're
You know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
gone. Maybe you'll be a statue or whatever. But it's like you're so to like the earth. You're so insignificant. Like humans are like anything. I mean, we already have like right now. Oh, COVID or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, but we're so insignificant to like Earth or planets, or there's like an asteroid or something. It's like, dude, you're done, bro, and we can't even handle nature, and we're out here. Oh, it's a simulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's because we just created all these distractions.
And that's that's all everything is now. Is just a distraction.
Just a distraction. Wow.
So,
well, that's it for that one. What, we looking to wrap up or what?
I think we're hour 10 in.
Hour 10 in. So
Yeah.
what? Well, we got wholesome advice. You know what? The only wholesome advice I got a little bit of wholesome advice because things are starting to open up a little bit, and I would still say, obviously, just still try to be like thoughtful of others and things like that. It has been nice kind of opening up, and it's probably going to take a while to get back to normal, I think, just because a lot of people have different opinions, and I think that's perfectly fine. But I think everybody is tired of COVID, whether they want to wear a mask or they don't want to wear a mask. Everybody's tired of it. Everybody wants the world to be back to normal. And whether somebody, thinks that their way is better or the other way is better, I mean, the bottom line is like everybody just wants things to be normal. And I was thinking about like how weird it's going to be once it gets back to normal. You know what I mean? It's just like, because it's almost like everybody's like, okay, we wanted to get back to normal, but it's almost now that we're like, is this
Do we
real?
really?
You know what I mean?
Do we really?
So maybe just be like patient, and then also, I mean, understand that everybody has different thoughts, but still be respectful. You know what I mean? Don't be like, oh well, this, oh they're a pussy, or this doesn't exist or anything. It's like, well, dude, just be freaking patient. You can believe in a guy that's imaginary, and you know what I mean. Somebody's not gonna tell you you're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think mine would be I feel like people get angry too quickly.
Too quick now.
Yeah. Or I
Everybody's-
mean they always have, right? But now with social media everybody gets triggered so quickly. I feel like maybe be slow to anger and really listen. Like no one's listening anymore.
or don't
Everyone's
let it affect you. Yeah, or don't get angry just to get angry.
Yeah.
If
if you're gonna get angry, at least have an answer.
like clout anger or something like that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to have dialogue anymore or talk about things.
Yeah,
like
no
you
one's
said,
no one's
oh,
really
I'm
listening.
gonna jump straight into anger.
Yeah, like no one's like really. Well, I think it starts with listening, and then thinking about it, and then either reacting or answering. So I don't know. I think that would be my.
Just don't be angry.
Take a step back. Don't get angry.
Remember that we're just little peasants, little ants, and mere insignificant beings and bacterias in this planet.
Basically.
But anything from you, hosts?
That was a good one.
Well, just a moment of silence, I guess, is what he said. He wants the world to nourish and heal, but it's your boy Host Beefy.
It's your boy Javi. We got hosts saying goodbye.
All right, and we love you guys. Catch you later. Melikaliki Maka. Happy Easter. Happy everything, man. Hopefully all you guys are doing great.
Deuces.